Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Bash pre-show presented by Ready Roof. They are a full-service roofing contractor serving all of Long Island. To book an appointment and get a free consultation, call 631-892-9303. Hi again, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz. WizKid Vinny is with me here today. A day off for Vinny. Tickets following a Labor Day weekend, so he needed another day off on top of Labor Day yesterday. So boy,
Yep.
he's got a lot of appointments with Dr. Summeroff, as I did this summer.
Yeah, just like my brother. School starts for him tomorrow.
Yeah, so and my younger son Jared, who's with us here in studio today, is getting ready to go back to school tomorrow. Bradley's already up at college, so we're back to business tomorrow. Like tomorrow, like the summer nonsense is over. I expect everybody on the staff to be here tomorrow as we get ready for the first week of the NFL season. Baseball pennant races are heating up, so Dr. Summeroff is now gone. Right, we're done seeing him, and now we proceed with the beginning of the football season.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited for Thursday.
Yes, so that's right. Thursday is the first game of the season, and then they have this ridiculous idea of playing a game in Brazil on Friday, and you're smiling because you know how I feel about these NFL games in other countries.
Well, that's not why. It's that I'm very, very excited for Friday's game, actually.
Why?
Well, because one, it's going to be the first ever regular season game in South America, so I'm really excited to see that.
But why do we need this? Like, that's my question. Like, why do we need this?
Hey, it's a novelty.
So you know my stance is on this.
My dad has the same stance.
So if we can't get real soccer games from the other countries, if we have to get the B teams and the C teams that come over here on tour during the summer, why do we give these other countries real games like that? I don't mind throwing a couple of games at them, but let me have Man U and Liverpool come here and play like a real game at MetLife Stadium,
That'd
and
be
not
fun.
bring your touring B's and C's over here. We got to give you like 2 or 3 NFL games, regular season games. Why can't we get a couple of Premier League games or Bundesliga games over here?
I think the reason why that's the case is because soccer around the world is a bigger deal, a bigger draw than American football is around the world. So I think the reason why they're doing this is because they used to have the preseason games.
You don't
back
think?
in the day.
Wait. You don't think if Manchester United came to MetLife Stadium against whoever, it wouldn't draw 80,000 people and would gross a ridiculous amount of money?
It definitely would.
So that's the point. So the NFL games go over to the other countries and they sell out and they draw this ridiculous money. So why can't we have the same thing over here? That's my issue with it.
I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see it. I'd be down for it. I mean, if you had like a nice Manchester game, or if you had Real Madrid over here in like MetLife Stadium, I'd go crazy for that.
It's that's my problem with it. Later on in the show, it's Free Ticket Tuesday. We give away 4 tickets for Saturday's Premier Lacrosse League semifinals at Hofstra. We'll also check out the Sports Bash Media poll question, and we'll have this day in sports history. I did want to take a couple of moments to talk about a great event that the Islanders had on Saturday at Northwell Health Eye Center. The Islanders, in partnership with Northwell Health, distributed more than 500 backpacks filled with school supplies to students from Long Island and Metro New York. Each backpack was filled with notebooks, colored pencils, folders, crayons, erasers, and a pencil case, everything a kid would need for the start of the school year. Sparky, the Islanders mascot, was also in attendance. Families were able to participate in the complimentary Islanders Ice Tour games, and they received balloon animals and airbrush tattoos. Just a wonderful event put on by the Islanders, and I know every team in the market, they do a wonderful job with community relations, but Ann Rena, who is the Islanders' longtime community relations director and manager, to me, I mean, it would be hard to find somebody who does a better job, works harder, and does more for the community than she does with her staff and the Long Island community. The Islanders do a fabulous job, and this is something they do every year to distribute the backpacks. I just think it's a wonderful thing that they've done, and kudos to Ann and the Islanders for another job well done the other day at Northwell.
I would agree with that also.
So a lot of 500 kids, it was more than 500 kids, get the backpacks for the start of the school year, which for some schools on Long Island started today. Some start tomorrow. Like Jared will be a freshman at MacArthur High School in Levittown. So we are excited. We had double graduations in the spring. Bradley graduated high school, is off at college at Western Connecticut State, and they open up their season on Saturday here on Long Island against the Merchant Marine Academy. So we're very, very excited to see the Wolves season opener on Saturday. And then tomorrow, Jared opens up at MacArthur as a freshman. And I am very, very proud to say we now have 2 student athletes in the Schwartz household. Jared has made the badminton team, so he will be a general for the first time. So we are very, very excited. Are you pumped up? I know he's not on camera, but you're excited, right? Are you more excited for school tomorrow or playing golf after the show today? Golf. Yes, golf after the show today.
At least he's honest.
Coming up on the show, we've got a lot to do. We're going to talk Yankees. We're going to talk Mets. We've got This Day in Sports History. It's Free Ticket Tuesday. We got the Sports Bash Media poll question. We're going to join our radio audience coming up in just a moment. It's Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com, where you'll never pay a service fee. Sports Bash is also brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike, where every customer is considered family. Mention Sports Bash, get a free dessert with your meal by the offices of Dr. Anthony Ippolito at Chiropractic Care Plus, located at 1 John Street in Babylon. Chiropractic Care Plus is the only choice when searching for Long Island chiropractors. Give Dr. Ippolito a call at 631-669-6221. By Bearcat Billing Service, your trusted partner in medical billing. Experience the Bearcat way, personal, professional, and tailored to your needs. Give Gary a call at 516-796-2400 and tell him Sports Bash sent you. By the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. For more information, go to martylyonsfoundation.org. And by Collaborate Studios, a content marketing production facility. For more info, call them at 516-509-8277. Again, good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz. WizKid Vinny Laspanuso is with me in the number 2 chair today because Vinny Tickets has another one final day off before the start of the NFL season. And as I mentioned on the pre-show, for those listening on radio, I threw the gauntlet down on the pre-show. Dr. Summeroff is no longer taking any more patients. The summer is over. So we give Vinny Tickets one more day to take care of whatever he needs to take care of. Same goes for me. Unless an emergency comes up, you never know what can happen on the show. So you always have to be at the ready, and whoever else may have to fill in. So, but as far as planned days off, that's it. NFL season starts on Thursday. That's it. No more Dr. Summeroff, right?
I'm here every single day, so
right. Well, you get here at like 6:30 in the morning. You hang the banner. You set up the microphones. I mean, that goes without saying. I'm just talking about the rest. This is a message to the rest of the Sports Bash Media staff. It's now college football season's already underway. We've had some big games already. By the way, Florida State, what's going on there? 0-2 for the number 10 team in the nation.
not good.
They're not happy in Tallahassee right now.
I know Mike's not very happy. Mike's my friend.
Yeah. Florida State fan?
Oh, he went to school there.
Okay, well, they're in big trouble right now.
Yeah, I can't say he's thrilled, but at least he's happy the Panthers won the cup, so he's still kind of happy from that.
Well, there you go. So that's it. So like starting tomorrow, we're in business. Baseball pennant races are going on. NFL season is starting. College football season well underway. Schools are back in session here on Long Island. So the summer is done. And we're back to business, right?
Yep.
All right, so we can proceed. It is Free Ticket Tuesday here on the show. Later on in the show, we're going to give away 4 tickets to Saturday's Premier Lacrosse League semifinals at Hofstra. Should be a great day and night of lacrosse. It starts with a game between the FDNY and the NYPD, and then you've got the 4 best teams playing for the right to play in the Premier Lacrosse League championship game. So that'll be on Saturday. Later in the show, we'll give away 4 tickets for that. We'll also check out the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. We'll recap yesterday's, give you today's, and we'll also have This Day in Sports History. And by the way, for the first time in the history of Sports Bash Media, and you will attest to this, I instructed Wiz on what event to cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
First time ever. And it happened to come up on timelines yesterday, and it struck me. I'm like, you know what? I never involved myself. Like, you do what you always need to do with this day in sports history. So I just felt like I wanted, because to be truth be told, I was at the game. That's why I felt, because the ticket stub came up on a timeline. So that's why I gave you that particular. We're not going to tell you what it is yet until he does it later in the show. But you were not offended at all that I asked you a specific thing to do.
Nope. And it was on a Tuesday too. So
yes,
yeah.
it was.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, it was. Yes, because just a little teaser. So there were 2 games that were played. I was at both of them in a particular tournament, and they were played on that Monday and the Tuesday. And so then actually yesterday's game that I was at was the same day as another special day, was David Cohn's return from an aneurysm in 1996. So I was at a game that night, and then today's This Day in Sports History is the game I was at the next night. So we're good on that, right?
Yeah.
Because you had to bring up, there was a day in sports history where you brought up the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup. Remember, I almost walked out of the studio that day. So I think I had a right to ask for a specific This Day in Sports History.
It's fine. No worry. It's cool.
Okay, I just want to make sure we were okay on that, because I don't want to like ruffle any feathers around here. I like to be the good program director and host, right?
It's fine. And don't worry. There's 365 or 366 days out of the year. You could choose one.
But it's not. But my point being, it's not a. It's not a dictatorship.
No,
we have very much a democracy around here. So
cool.
If Chris had a suggestion, or if anybody in the Schwartz or Vinny Tickett's family had a suggestion for that, or if Sebastiano said, you know what, this date's coming up, maybe you can give a date. Like, so you don't feel like it's a dictatorship.
No,
right?
no. But if I had it my way, everything would be from the early 1900s.
Well, no, you were already told. And that didn't even come from me. That came from another person.
Yes,
I think it came from Vinny Tickets.
It's fine.
Said let's try and keep it. Was it Vinny or Brett who said that to you?
I think it was Vinny. But either way,
either way,
cool.
no. You said we have to spread it out. And, let's try and at least cater to the audience that was not around in the prehistoric days, right? So I picked the good one though. We'll get to it later today.
I like it. And it's close to home too.
Okay, so 631-451-1039 is the number to call if you want to join the show. It's time for the Sports Bash Flash. It's brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. We'll start in Arlington, where the Yankees look to bounce back after a rough weekend.
And this pitch floated down the left field line in foul territory, and it drops it to fair ground. It bounces onto the sidewall and out of play. Judge and Wells both score, as Rizzo will go to second, a ground rule double.
Wow, there were a lot of Yankee fans in Arlington last night. You hear that cheer? Justin Shackle on WFAN. The Yankees beat the Rangers 8-4. They stay a half game ahead of the Orioles in the AL East. Garrett Cole gave up a run and 4 hits while striking out 9 over 6. And then when he was warming up for the 7th inning, had a calf issue and had to leave the game. The Yankees at that point did not think after the game last night it was going to be a big deal, but they're going to monitor it. And obviously, if Garrett Cole has to go back on the shelf, that'll be a huge blow for the Yankees as they lead the American League East by a half a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would not be good for the Yankees, especially as they're competing for the number 1 seed in the AL. And don't forget, they're still competing for the division title with the Orioles.
And this is funny, too, because the other day, I heard on one of the radio broadcasts, the Yankees now, they're going to get Luis Gil back from rehab, and they'll have 6 starting pitchers for 5 spots. What do you do? Well, now you know what? Now you might have to give Garrett Cole a day off through the rotation if he's dealing with this calf issue. So you can never have enough starting pitching, especially with the playoffs lurking a month from now. Gleyber Torres went 3 for 5 with 2 RBI. Giancarlo Stanton hit his 25th home run. Yankees and Rangers again tonight in Arlington. First pitch at 8:05. Now to Citi Field, and the Mets moved a little closer to that 3rd National League wildcard spot.
2 out, nobody on. The pitch swung at it, missed strike 3, put it in the books. Phil Maton with his first save as a Met. 7 strong innings for Luis Severino. Couple more hits for Francisco Lindor. And the Mets take the opener from the Boston Red Sox and have now won 5 in a row.
Howie Rose on Odyssey Mets radio. The Mets beat the Red Sox 4-1. They pull within a half a game of the idle Atlanta Braves for that 3rd and final National League wildcard spot. Luis Severino had dipped a little bit in the middle of the season, but now he's back on track. A run and 6 hits, 5 strikeouts over 7 innings. Another big win for the Mets, and they are right there. It's funny how things change so quickly in baseball, because there was a point where the Mets were 3 games out and they're slumping and everything, and now 5 wins in a row, and they're right there.
Yeah,
right there.
You're right there, just a half game back behind the Braves, and not too far behind from either the D-backs or the Padres.
And as a Yankee fan, I can speak confidently about this. Obviously, rooting for the Mets this week as well, as I did against the Orioles. Even though the Red Sox are not going to, catch the Yankees or the Orioles, but it's always nice to see the Red Sox lose. It doesn't matter who beats them. So good luck to the Mets again tonight. Mets and Red Sox again tonight in Flushing. First pitch is at 7:10. So a lot to cover on the show. We'll take your phone calls about it. 631-451-1039, the number to call. We have a lot to do on the show. When we come back on the other side, we're going to have our Free Ticket Tuesday. That's 4 tickets to see the Premier Lacrosse League semifinals at Hofstra, your alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
And lacrosse is huge at Hofstra.
Oh, so it's massive. They have a whole stadium dedicated just to lacrosse.
Yes. Well, it used to be the football stadium. It wasn't just built for lacrosse.
Oh, I know.
But what they did do was they did take that old football locker room and they turned it into a fabulous Hofstra men's lacrosse. I don't know if the women use it too. Maybe the women use it also. But there is a fabulous lacrosse locker room now at Hofstra Stadium. So the Premier Lacrosse League semifinals are there. We will have This Day in Sports History that I personally selected, that Wiz will do the research on, and he'll present that to you later on. We'll also have the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. Stay with us on YouTube and Instagram. If you're watching online, we'll have a word from our friends at the Embassy Diner. Stay with us during the break on Facebook and YouTube. Vinny and I will have a little bit more to give you, and then we'll come back with our radio audience on LI News Radio when we come back right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Peter Schwartz, Whiz Kid Vinny, back on Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Big Labor Day weekend for the Yankees and the Mets. Did you have a good Labor Day weekend?
Yeah,
with the family.
Just finished up with the family. It's just really nice. My brother's, like I said, gearing up for classes tomorrow, and my parents are ready for their own classes. My mom has around like the usual amount, 20. My dad over 100. He's in a middle school, so it's a rotating amount of kids.
Yeah, we had a nice weekend away. The Schwartz family went up to Lake George. It's so beautiful up there. We had a nice time. Spent a few days, did a little boating, did a little shopping, a lot of eating. So that was nice. Get your batteries recharged. And as I said, you know what? The playtime's over. We're ready. Like it's September. Football season starts this week. And now it's back to business. Baseball pennant races. We got the U.S. Open winding down this week. I'm actually going out there tomorrow to the U.S. Open for a little bit there tomorrow afternoon.
Nice.
So I'm getting a chance to catch that. And that's where we are right now. It's football time and it's baseball pennant race time. We'll be back with more on Sports Bash coming up right now. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. 631-451-1039 is the number to call to join the show. It's Peter Schwartz. WizKid is in for Vinny Tickets on this Tuesday morning. It is a Free Ticket Tuesday morning, and it's presented by TicketBash.com and the Premier Lacrosse League. We are giving away 4 tickets for Saturday's Premier Lacrosse League semifinal doubleheader at Hofstra. Just be the 4th caller right now at 631-451-1039. And I say fourth phone caller because we're giving away 4 tickets, and it is the final 4 of the Premier Lacrosse League this Saturday at Hofstra Stadium. So be the fourth caller right now, 631-451-1039, and you will win 4 tickets for Saturday's Premier Lacrosse League semifinals. It is time now for the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. We post a new poll question every weekday on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter page. First, let's look back at yesterday's poll question. And here's what we asked, because we had a hockey-themed show yesterday. We were joined by former Islander Benoit Hogue and former Ranger Mike Richter. So we had a hockey-themed show yesterday to kick off September. Hockey training camps are right around the corner. So that's what we did yesterday. And we had a poll question about hockey, considering the Islanders-Rangers rivalry. How many times during the season should the Islanders and Rangers play during the regular season? There was a time when they played, I think there was a time when they played 8 times during the season. Now, sometimes you get 3, sometimes you get 4. I think last year was 4. The Rangers had 2 home games. The Islanders had 2, but one of them was the Stadium Series game at MetLife Stadium. So we posed that question to the audience, and the winner is 4. 40%, just edging out 6 at 39%. 19% said 8. Only 2% said 3. I think 4 is a good number. I'd like to see more than 4. I'd like to see 6. I voted for 6.
I chose 4 mostly because when you look at how the schedule is laid out with the divisions, and there's also the interconference games, you got to balance out in a certain way. But I would not mind maybe a slight increase, because that is the main rival within their division.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind it personally.
See, I think the problem the NHL has, and I think the NBA has this problem as well, when you're putting together an 82 game regular season, you want a lot of games in your division. But like here in New York, if you're an Islanders fan or a Rangers fan or even a Devils fan too, it doesn't matter. You want to play against your division. You want those rivalry games, so you want those 3 local teams to play as much as possible. But if you play more games against your division and let's say the other team in your conference, that lessens the amount of games that you can play against the Western Conference. Now, some may say, well, if I'm an Islander fan, like, I don't need to see Calgary. I don't need to see Winnipeg. I don't need to see. But you like to see Connor McDavid, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the problem, too. It's like the more games you play in your division, the less opportunity you're going to have to play some of the other teams. And listen, everybody wants to see the best player in the game.
Definitely.
So if you play more games against your division, that's going to chop off games you play against the other conference. Connor Bedard too. We went to go see the Islanders play the Blackhawks last year. My kids were excited to see Connor Bedard in person. So I don't think there's a perfect way to do the schedule.
Yeah. Not only that, when you have, let's say, the Boston Bruins, you could have, in theory, more games against the Maple Leafs or the Canadiens or the Panthers, but you'd also get more games against the Sabres. You'd get more games against the Red Wings. Well, the Red Wings are okay, but that would also mean less games you'd have against those interconference opponents. That would be a huge draw, like the Avalanche or the Oilers. So yeah, it's a bit of a mix. You can't please everyone.
No, and the problem is that when you have the Western Conference taken into consideration, if you play more games, that means the Oilers might not. The Oilers might come in to play the Rangers, might come in to play the Devils, but they now might not come in to play the Islanders. The Islanders may only go out to Edmonton. So there's no perfect way of fixing it. But just from a rivalry standpoint, I just would like to see more. I think 5 or 6. You don't want to see one team get more home games than the other one, but 4 is a good number. I'm just being selfish. I'd like to see 6, but I also want to see Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard and some other players. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. That was a look at yesterday's poll question. Let's look at today's poll question. And this I am baffled that when September 1st came up on Sunday, considering how the Yankees have struggled, basically a 500 team since June, and having some issues with left field and at times issues generating offense. How now that Jason Dominguez is healthy, why the Yankees didn't make him a September 1st call-up, I don't understand. So the question is, should the Yankees have made Jason Dominguez a September 1st call-up, which would make him eligible for the postseason? Now, I think he still can because he played in a single game. He got when they had a makeup game, he was called up as an emergency player. So I think he's still eligible for the postseason if they wanted to bring him up in September. I'm not 100% certain. So the question is, should the Yankees have made Jason Dominguez a September 1st call-up? And I say easily and unequivocally, yes.
Oh, yeah, it's an easy yes for me, too, especially with the playoffs coming up and you're still trying to battle for that division title. Anything that you could do to help your team get ahead of the game, you do it.
Now, remember, he played in that one game, and he had that little, he had a little hiccup in left field on a game-winning hit. We kind of like double pumped, didn't get the ball back in to try and cut the run down at home plate. But it's one game, and he's been playing so well down in AAA. I just would have liked to have seen him on the roster as an extra player. I don't think he has anything left to prove at AAA. He's got to be a Yankee next year, no question about it. Has to be a starting player for the Yankees next year. And obviously they're waiting for Spencer Jones too. Spencer Jones is having a phenomenal season at AA Somerset, so he's another guy to look forward to, perhaps getting a cup of coffee in the big leagues next year. That does it for the poll question. Now it's your turn. Mm-hmm. It is time to bring in Whiz Kid Vinny, and this day in sports history, as requested by me.
Okay, because on this day in 1996, the United States hockey team beat the Slovenian team by a score of 9-3.
Slovakia.
Yeah.
That's Slovenia and Slovakia are two different countries. So it was Slovakian.
Slovakia 9-3 in the first ever.
Gotta get the professor's hat out again.
Yes. Slovenia, Slovakia. Listen, they were in the North American grouping, which Slovakia isn't in the first place.
Right.
So, but that was the final game that the U.S. had in the group stage. They had the bye in the knockout stage.
In the World Cup of Hockey.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the World Cup of Hockey was the first ever World Cup of Hockey, and they won the first ever World Cup of Hockey championship. Brett Hull led the way with 11 points, and Mike Richter, who should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame, I got to say that, of course.
Had a chance to meet him last week.
Yeah, indeed.
Very, very nice. So they beat Slovakia MVP that night. Yes, he was wonderful in the finals against Canada. The night before, the United States beat Russia at Madison Square Garden. I was at both games. My friend Jeff, may he rest in peace, had Ranger season tickets, so we had tickets for both games at the Garden. And I had mentioned the day before when they beat Russia, we were at a bar across the street from the Garden watching David Cohn return from the aneurysm and had 5 no-hit innings in that game. Then we went to go see the USA beat Russia. Then the next night, as you just mentioned today, USA beat Slovakia. And then they went on to beat Canada in the final. So the first World Cup of Hockey went to the United States. And Mike Richter was on his head that whole tournament.
Incredible.
He was phenomenal. And that was like really the only time, maybe the Olympics, I rooted for Mike Richter because obviously of the team that he played for. And I said that to him last week. I had no problem saying that to him.
At least you're being honest.
I said, you made my life miserable in 1994. I said, you made me happy in 1996, but you made my life miserable in 1994.
Hey, listen, he was the MVP, and it came when it mattered most. Up against the wall, definitely one of the greatest American goalies of all time, no question in my mind.
Tomorrow, everybody's favorite segment of the week, Stump the Whiz. You've got the computers working.
Yep.
Right? Everything's right up there.
Yeah.
So DM your questions for tomorrow, Stump the Whiz. DM to Sports Bash Media Facebook, Instagram, and X/Twitter. If we pick your question and you stump this guy to my right, you will win a special prize. That's coming up on tomorrow's show. We'll also recap the Mets and Yankees from tonight, and we're moving a step closer, just inching a little closer to the start of the NFL season on Thursday. That'll do it for this edition of Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, where you'll never pay a service fee for our entire